The book sections are divided into Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Part 1. Homo sapiens conquers the world. Homo sapiens menaklukkan dunia. In this part, discusses about how the relationship between sapiens and other animals in an effort to understand and know the specialities of humans compared to other species. Pada bagian pertama ini menggambarkan bagaimana hubungan antara sapiens dan hewan lain dalam upaya untuk memahami dan mengetahui keistimewaan manusia dibanding spesies lainnya. Scientists divide the history of our planet into epochs such as the Pleistocene, the Pliocene, and the Miocene. Officially, we live in the Holocene epoch, for during this millennia Homo sapiens become the single most important agent of change in the global ecology. Our forefathers had spread throughout the region to change flora and fauna and encourage the replacement of other human species. In the case of humans, we nevertheless assume that whenever someone reports that he or she is conscious, we can take their word for it. Talk about consciously or unconsciously, animals are also tested for consciousness. Tests are they the same as humans? Do they have consciousness too, for example, like testing dogs, rats, and others? Then we go to the dream time section. No other animal can stand up to us, not because they lack a soul or a mind, but because they lack the necessary imagination. Lions can run and bite, yet they cannot open a bank account or file a lawsuit. Humans can imagine things that make sense, while cats and other animals are confined to objective realm and use their communication system merely to describe. Part 2. Homo sapiens gives meaning to the world. Homo sapiens memberi arti bagi dunia. What this second part discusses is what Homo sapiens brought to bring us to a crossroad today. For example, in the book, it says if you don't have money, you can approach shop owner and ask them to fulfill all your needs. Of course, this is a crossroad. Pada bagian kedua ini membahas bagaimana Homo sapiens membawa kita di persimpangan saat ini. Contohnya, di dalam buku dikatakan, jika kamu tidak memiliki uang, kamu dapat mendekati pemilik toko dan bertanya kepada mereka untuk memenuhi semua yang kamu butuhkan. Tentu saja itu adalah sebuah persimpangan. The basic ability of individual humans have not changed much since the Stone Age. The vast majority of people remained illiterate until modern age. Our modern education system provides numerous other examples of reality now owing to written records. When schools began assessing people according to precedent numerical marks, the lives of millions of students and teachers changed dramatically. Evolutionary pressure have accustomed humans to see the world as a static pie. If somebody gets a larger slice of the pie, somebody else inevitably gets a smaller slice. Modern politicians and economists insist that growth is vital for three principal reasons. Firstly, when we produce more. Secondly, as long as humankind multiplies. Thirdly, even if Indians stop multiplying, and even if the Indian middle class can be satisfied with its current standard of living, what should India do about its hundreds of millions of poverty-stricken citizens? The traditional view of the world as a pie of a fixed size presupposes that there are only two kinds of resources in the world, raw materials and energy. But in truth, there are three kinds of resources, raw materials, energy, and knowledge. Part 3. Homo sapiens loses control. Homo sapiens kehilangan kendali. In the third section, it describes our current state and future possibilities, how the search for immortality, happiness, and some renewal is carried out. Pada bagian ketiga ini menggambarkan keadaan kita saat ini dan kemungkinan di masa depan, bagaimana pencarian keabadian, kebahagiaan, dan beberapa pembaruan dilakukan. In 2016, the world is dominated by the liberal package of individualist, human rights, democracy, and free market. Liberal value individual liberty so much because they believe that humans have free will. Liberalism maintains that we shouldn't expect some external entity to provide us with a ready-made meaning. In the 20th century, too many medical breakthroughs began with the rich, but eventually benefited the entire population and helped to narrow rather than widen the social gaps. If in 20th century medicine aimed at treating the sick, then in the 21st century medicine is increasingly aimed at renewing healthy people. Turn to the world of politics and power. In the 21st century, democracy might decline and even disappear. Technological revolution now outpaces political process, causing MPs and voters alike to lose control. In the coming decades, it is likely that we will see more internet-like revolutions still emerge. Conclusion. This book has repeatedly asked what makes humans superior to other animals. The conclusion of part 1 is how the relationship between sapiens and other animals. In an effort to understand and know the specialities of humans compared to other species. The conclusion of the discussion of the second part is what Homo sapiens brought to bring us to a crossroads today. For example, in the books it say if you don't have money, you can approach shop owners and ask them to fulfill all your needs. Of course, this is a crossroad. Next, third part, it can be concluded that describes our current state and possibilities. In the future, how the quest for immortality, happiness, and some renewal is carried out. Kesimpulan. Buku ini berulang kali menanyakan apa yang membuat manusia lebih unggul dari hewan lain. Kesimpulan bagian pertama adalah bagaimana hubungan antara sapiens dengan hewan lain dalam upaya memahami dan mengetahui kekhususan manusia dibandingkan dengan spesies lain. Kemudian kesimpulan dari pembahasan bagian kedua adalah apa yang dibawa Homo sapiens untuk membawa kita ke persimpangan jalan hari ini. Misalnya di buku dikatakan, jika tidak punya uang, Anda bisa mendekati pemilik toko dan meminta mereka untuk memenuhi semua kebutuhan Anda. Tentu saja ini adalah sebuah persimpangan. Selanjutnya, bagian ketiga dapat disimpulkan yang menggambarkan keadaan kita saat ini dan kemungkinan di masa depan. Bagaimana pencarian keabadian, kebahagiaan, dan beberapa pembaruan dilakukan. Saya menyarankan bagi para pembaca yang sedang mencari buku tentang prediksi masa depan umat manusia dan kemajuan teknologi untuk membaca buku ini karena buku ini dilengkapi dengan gambar-gambar pendukung dan buku ini juga memiliki pesan-pesan penting bagi manusia. Sekian dari penjelasan yang dapat saya sampaikan. Semoga bermanfaat bagi teman-teman sekalian. Apabila ada kekurangan dalam penjelasan saya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.